as usual. Seven, six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And oh, Twitch, come on. It said it was live. There we go. Okay. So I've been real busy. I didn't get a live stream off yesterday because I've been working on, I got like 2 things done, big things done yesterday. I launched a new feature for Bonsai, which I'll show you guys in a second. I also shot and edited this video last night with my girlfriend Sky. So I'll show you that first. This is for a VR company that we're gonna be launching in the next coming weeks or months. All right, so that's the first edit that I've made. I'm gonna chop it down much shorter than that. But that's for a VR experience that we're gonna be running on Airbnb coming here soon. So that's kind of a side project. I'll be touching more on that once we get Bonsai more squared away for the private beta. So let's take a look at the new feature that I launched. So Bonsai is officially in dark mode now, and I think it looks pretty good, if I do say so. The new feature is right up here. It's consult, and here you can hire consulting time by the minute. I'm going to be adding a team of experts on the entire stack, so anywhere from Bonsai to the tools we use from WordPress, Roots, Vagrant, Ansible. Might even add some experts in Vue JavaScript or something like that. So stay tuned for that. I think that'll be a cool feature that other people will be able to use out on their own sites. I got some people to sign up, so I'm gonna have to review the applications and see who the round table of elders is gonna be, because I could definitely use some help on certain areas of the stack. That's the thing, is to become a full stack developer, that's kind of deceptive, because you can never truly master everything that's connected to the stack. You can get really good at it, but there's always going to be somebody that's better in certain areas. So that's a necessity moving forward with this project if I want it to be developed as fast and high quality as possible. Alright, so what we're going to be doing today is we've applied the new version of the theme to the Futur's private beta version of the website. Let's see, I need to launch my live reload and compiler. Okay. There we go. All right, so what this is doing is this checkout page is pulling in my main form, but I'm going to be updating my main form to be a checkout form. It'll have email, credit card information, and cardholder name. That's pretty much it. Then we can add to it as we go. But let me focus on updating this form first, because as soon as you update that, it'll automatically be updated on the checkout page. So I think we should just start building the checkout page default into every version, because the reason we're building this page is we have our normal checkout process that pops up in the modal window. This is our main form. I call it Bonsai form. So we'll turn that into a whole product by running the product script, and it adds all the necessary fields, updates the form. The problem is the way that we're going to be using this for the future is we can't really use a modal window, and I'll show you why. So this is the Futur's website built on Webflow, and if you buy one of their products, you'll see that they have a landing page. Okay, let's say the style kit guide. You go in, here's the landing page for the product. This is still on Webflow. Watch the URL. All right. If you go buy now, then it takes you to Teachable's website, which is their checkout process. And this is basically a black box. You can't get much analytic data out of this. You can't really customize it a whole lot. So this is what we're building right here, is our own separate checkout page and process for the LMS. So first thing we'll do to get to that point is put on some good music. Okay, so first thing I'll do is come into my project site directory scripts, and we're gonna look at this product.sh. So we need to update this and get rid of all this. It's a much cleaner way of just updating the form by pulling in this JSON data. Form-bonsai-product. So this is the data that builds the form. So we'll come in here, and I'm not sure if this notification can be run yet, so when we know the script is working, it should be as easy as running product.sh. I'm not sure that this part's ready to work yet, so let's just run it with that one command in there. And this will update the form. So now if we come in and refresh this, we'll have the normal bonsai form that you'd see on the normal website. So this will be customized. We can leave it as is for now because I'm not exactly sure how we're going to architect the checkout page yet. I'm not sure if all the products will go through one checkout page or if we'll have a separate checkout page for each product, or exactly how that's going to be done yet. So I'll have to think about that. I know I could probably pass some data through the URL that would dynamically or conditionally select the product, but I don't know if we'd want to do it that way with so many products, because I will just have to play around with it and figure out which is best. But for now, we're just going to use a simple checkout form. We'll be adding some more stuff to it. It'll basically be a mixture. Now I suppose we could do a two-step process. Or would it be better to do a one-step process? The way I currently have it set up on Bonsai is you fill in the payment gets processed, and once the payment has successfully been processed, then it takes you to enrollment. I haven't created that page yet because it's created during the Sensei process where you actually build all the LMS content. So I could do that one of two ways. I don't think it really matters right now. Just to keep things uniform, I will most likely be keeping it the same as Bonsai for now, just to keep things uniform. So what we'll be doing today is basically going through the masterclass steps. So if we go under our courses on Notion or on the website, we only have 3 masterclass courses right now. There will be some new ones being added shortly, but if we follow, we'll probably skip security and email for now since this isn't going to production anytime soon. And then we'll go through with the create a product and set up Sensei LMS. Once we've done those, then we'll basically be ready to start customizing things. Yeah, this could come together a lot faster than I'm expecting actually, so we'll see. I'm gonna start going through this. And one of the cool things is that I can practice rerunning these scripts that build the site over and over again. If you look under development or under any of the scripts I use like this, you'll see wp db clean as a command at the top. So basically every time I run this, the entire database gets cleaned and it's running it from scratch. And I just redo that entire process until I get it exactly the way I want it. This is usually commented out, but once I go into a mode where I'm working on the scripts, I uncomment it, and I just let it clean the database every time I rerun the scripts. So in this development script, I'm going to include this by default. Now we create this checkout page, and that's going to change things a little bit on from the default that I have on, let's see, Sensei. You see all these ID tags right here? These are all going to be changed, so I'll have to adjust those a little bit. I'll show you how to go through and figure out which IDs you want to change these all to, as well as all of these. So in theory, if I'm adding one more page right here, and then Sensei comes towards the end of the whole build process, then I'd be adding, these would become 15, and these would all go one up, because I would have one more page that takes up an ID tag, if that makes sense. And then when you're building the actual course curriculum, you really have to take that into account, because these are the course pages, these are lessons for the first course, lessons for the second course. So you can take up a lot of ID tags. You just need to configure that. So you'll be seeing a lot of how that's done once I get to that point. But we'll come into development for now, make sure that we want all of this in the core development of the project, the basic project. So we're adding the checkout page. And the thing is, that actually doesn't make sense right here. This should actually be done during the product process. Because this is when we actually add our first real product and that we can charge for on the site and add all the payment stuff, turn it into an e-commerce site basically. So when running product, we'll create the form first, we'll update it, and then we'll create the page. This is the notification. I'm not sure this is working yet. Let's run it and see. Yeah, it says parameter error, unknown notification JSON parameter. There's some parameter in here that's unknown. I'm wondering if it's one of the plugins that I haven't activated yet or something. Either way, that's not important right now. We'll be figuring out notifications when we're getting ready to go to production. That doesn't create any extra IDs, I don't think, so I think we're good moving forward without it. Sensei, okay. Okay, so now I want to rerun this process, but now it's in a different order, so we just want to make sure that nothing breaks. We're going to do this again. We'll start with development, and that's going to wipe the database clean. Yes, drop all the database tables, recreate it from scratch. that is done. So now I'm gonna refer back to the course curriculum. So basically this is the end of, we're at the end of the speed run right here. There shouldn't be a checkout page yet until I run product, but I'm not going to run product yet because I think there's some steps in between. So let's check the curriculum. Oops. We're skipping security and email for now because we're not testing for production yet. So we'll create a product. We do the Bonsai speedrun. This is just some product sprint type stuff. So you need to do some steps to decide what product. Hopefully you've already decided what product you're going to sell. In this case, we already have well-established products we're selling. Buy or trial gravity forms. Okay, run product.sh. Okay, it created that post, so now if we come back to our checkout page, it should be there. Let's just refresh. Okay, and we have our checkout form as well. It is now a checkout form instead of a email subscription form. Now we want to activate gravity forms, so we will log in. I like to go to future.test and do it on that URL instead of local host. Okay, so now we come into forms. You're going to want to have your gravity forms key ready. I've got mine right here. I just keep it default most of the time. Select your currency. Now you don't need to click create a form here, you can just go to forms and then it'll show up all the forms we already have. So we've done that, now we need to run staging. Sync databases from development to staging, install and activate gravity form add-ons. Huh. I don't really need to run this right now, but we might as well. Let me make sure the staging site is up and running. Okay, so this is just version 0.0.4. We're going to update to 0.5. So we want to come to the staging script. We can clean the database because we're just going to be syncing it at the end. Although I don't think we need to. In that way, I don't know, let's see what happens if we don't. Because this way then the old database will be backed up. That doesn't really matter at this point, to be honest. There's nothing on the database of value. Future staging, provision, deploy. Okay. So this should take everything we've done and update it to the staging site. First thing we have to do before that is commit our new version. So once that's pushed, then we'll come into here and we will run staging.sh. Just gonna let this run for about 10 minutes, and just want to stand by and watch for any questions it might ask. We got a nuzzler on our hands. Yeah, buddy. He's kind of a baby deer. No, no, not. Yeah, you're a good boy. All right, that should be done. Let's take a look. 0.4 to 0.5. Consult. And one other thing I'd like to do real quick, just before we get started. Just gonna collapse site down, then come into composer.json. And right where it says WordPress 5.4.1, we're gonna update to 5.5.1. Ooh, I need to do that in Bonsai as well. It's okay, I can do that later. It's not like I'm gonna forget for long. WordPress reminds you every time you log in. Okay, so let's just back out to our site directory and run composer update. Now next time I deploy, it will update to 5.5.1. Okay, WordPress should be updated now. We'll come back into our scripts directory. And close out. Just clean this up a little bit. Okay, so our new version is deployed to staging. Let's make sure that the checkout page worked. Okay. And this credit card form is not going to show up until we've created a Stripe feed. So let's just refer back to our documentation. We can close out of this for now. If I refresh this, prompt should go way up here. Database update required. Usually I'd back that up before I ran that if I had an important thing I was working with, but I can easily do all of that with my sync script setup. You can also see the version down here, so you can see that's updated. Okay, let's go back into our documentation. So we ran staging, we deployed all of that. I don't think I should have to activate gravity forms because I actually completely migrated the database from development to staging. So let's check that real quick just to make sure. So this would be the future staging WP admin. And we'll come into forms, and if we see our forms here, then everything's good. We don't need to update anything. Okay, that's working all right. Let's check the documentation. We can delete this. Yep. Okay, set up gravity form stripe. So we're gonna come into the back and for WordPress, go to gravity form settings right here. And we'll have a stripe tab right here. And ooh, I think this got updated a bit. Click here to reload the settings page. So this won't even show it to me. And I forgot, that's why I deploy it to staging right there, because there's a trick. To doing gravity forms stripe development locally. This is like a little hack that I found. Okay, so I come into the exact same place on the staging site, but I do have the SSL enabled, and I go to Stripe, and there should weird. There's usually a button that says prompts you to connect it to Stripe. It looks like they've updated the plugin. It might be a little different now. Does it not need to connect? Does it only need the key now? I don't understand. Okay, so you can follow these instructions here. We need to create a webhook. I'm going to check test, view test data, then add a test endpoint. Future-staging.jackalope.io. And as for version, you want latest API version, select events. Just down here, receive all events, add endpoint. Okay, now I'm gonna click to reveal, then copy the secret key. Actually, it wants a specific URL like that, so let me redo that real quick. I'll just expire that one real quick. Okay, now back into webhooks, test, add endpoint. This is the one we want. Latest API, receive all events, add endpoint. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing, copy the secret key. I'll come back into here. Test, paste that. Check this, update settings. Refer back to the documentation. Okay, add stripe feed. So this is all on the staging database. You're doing this right now. We'll come into our Bonsai form settings. Stripe, we have to add a stripe feed. Please configure your stripe settings. Okay, now it showed up. So you want to click this button. Let's make sure we're in test mode. Connect to Stripe. For some reason it takes a couple tries to click that button through sometimes. Okay, that's on test. We don't need to do live yet because it's going to be weeks or months until we actually run this live in production. So we'll just keep it in test mode for now. That way I don't have to be worried about any keys or anything too much being shared during the live stream. So now that that's configured, we can go to, we should be able to go to the checkout page and see the credit card fields. Check if you, oh, we forgot to activate the Stripe feed. So we can just go back to it. Now, forms, Bonsai form settings, Stripe, create the feed, test feed 1, select transaction type, we'll just say products and services. Why am I leaving the site? No. Form total. That's usually what I select. We don't need any addresses for any digital products. Under meta, I usually put product. You could add other ones in here if you wanted to, based on different data points. You can type the email address, so this will tie it to the actual Stripe account in the metadata and tell you which products they purchased. I'd like to send a receipt by email, conditional logic. We don't need any of that yet. Connected as jackalope.io, update settings. Okay, and now if we go to checkout page, we do have a credit card form field. I was having trouble making this credit card field go into dark mode because I couldn't get the text to show up as white, so it was just black on black. Made it impossible to see. And I don't know, maybe I could make it a more of a gray color or something, but it's kind of a complex field. It's like got an iframe embedded in it and stuff, so I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. It's the only white thing on the page really, other than some of the text. So I don't think it's too overbearing. That's what Masterclass does. And I actually hate it. So I'll definitely fix that at some point. Ooh, they changed it, so the flow's a little bit different. If you sign into one of your Google accounts, now it'll bring up that modal window. And it's, look how white it is. It just hurts your eyes when you're in dark mode. But they were probably having the same issue. At least for us, it's only one field. And I'll probably make it a gray color later. I'll figure it out. So that's pretty good for now. This is on the staging site, so check this out. Remember how on our local site we required an SSL here? Well, this is the little hack or workaround. So you're gonna sync from staging to development. It's gonna pull the database, override it on our local environment, and then it's gonna think that we have an SSL because it's already gone through that process of checking. Okay, so let's come back into our local and refresh. should be activated. Oh, let's try refreshing again, maybe? No! Oh, they updated it so that the hack doesn't work anymore. It's just annoying because even when you're in test mode, it should disable this when you're in test mode. It's just annoying because sometimes you just want to work on the actual credit card fields, but you can't do it locally, which is a huge pain. Oh well. Okay, I'll have to probably update that in the documentation. Yeah, this little hack's just a waste of time if it's not working. Migrate back to local DB. We did that. Test first new customer in staging environment. Okay, I found this website. It's awesome for doing sign up testing. Just gives you a little temporary email and temporary inbox. So I'll just copy this, come into staging. We should be in test mode, so we'll say pro monthly. We can use 4242424242424242. Okay, you see how it's stalling out? One potential issue could be that we're loading this form multiple times on the page. It's also right here. You can see it stalling out here as well. Sometimes there's issues if you have a form multiple times on a page. So we're gonna come into web app, themes, our Bonsai theme, resources, views, layouts, find our checkout layout, and we're gonna want probably most of these modal windows, but not all of them. We're gonna not want enroll, login, map modal, subscribe. Yeah, so we'll get rid of enroll on this page and this page only. And that way we could also get rid of that button. But I don't want to have to create a separate nav just for this page. That's why I could use being more skilled at Blade. Okay. Let's test that out again. Oh, see, now I have to sync the database again. Let's see. Because we did that locally. See, I'd have to deploy it to my staging environment, and that's why it's so annoying that I can't develop locally with the credit card fields. Would that be the issue? Let's test it one more time just to make sure. Okay, it's clearly not working. One thing we could try out is pulling up this modal window and then deleting it from the website through the inspector. So we'll just delete this entire modal window and roll now. Now I can't exit out of this, so get rid of this backdrop. Okay, that should be gone. Let's try this again. No, I don't think that was the issue. Another quick test we could run would be to find this locally, and let's come in. And we can just disable this for now locally to run a test on everything else. Okay, that worked. So that tells me that has something to do with the credit card field. One thing I want to do is just update it so that there's no duplicate forms on this page. Just to make sure that that's not the issue. So I'm going to do that real quick. Then, as usual, I just like to look over my development or my staging script before I run it. So we're going to clean the database. Yeah, that's fine. And we're going to deploy and then replace it with the current state or the current development database. So let's run staging. And you just want to make sure that this says last fetch now, or that actually worked before you run this. Okay, let's go check on that, if that updated correctly. Just refresh this page. And if you click this button, then nothing should happen. Or maybe it'll pull up like a blank modal window. Okay. Yeah, that modal window is completely gone now. So that form is not there. Oh, but now I deleted the credit card field. I forgot about that. That was my bad. So the best way to recreate that is to come into our development script and actually, sorry, our product script. And this is where we update that. This is where we update that form, but instead of development, you can just put staging here, and it will do that on just the staging environment. That is the power of WP aliases. Thing is, we usually don't use staging in production anymore. I used to do it that way, but now I usually just do it all in development and then just migrate the databases. It's a lot easier and more reliable that way. Okay, so let's check that out, see if that worked. Refresh this. Okay, I guess it deleted my Stripe feed as well. Unfortunately, that's not something you can do in the command line yet. I talked to Gravity Forms about that, and they said that was a cool idea for a feature, and they might do that later. I think they asked me to like submit it to their feature ideas, and I don't think I did that. Okay, let's see. Forms. I'm gonna go into Bonsai form settings. Yep. Stripe. Just creating this feed again. Oh, it looks like it just got turned off. So there we go. Okay, let's run this test again. I think it's doing something. There we go. Okay. That works now. All we had to do was get rid of that duplicate field. So it's not on the checkout page anymore. I'll actually get rid of this button on the checkout page eventually. But I might want to do that through CSS. So I don't have to create a separate template for this. Let's just do that right now real quick. 2-minute rule. If you can do it in 2 minutes or less right now, get it done. Alright. The selector for the page will be we'll do template checkout as the class. Question is, where do we want to place this? Styles, leaf. This is pretty common. I'd say it's global even. We do have pages, but I don't think it deserves its own page. So let's just put it in global for now. Colors, hidden page titles. 404, so we'll say checkout page. That's the class, and then see if the button has a specific class. I don't think so. But this does. Nav corner CTA. Is that the entire thing? Yeah, we want to keep the countdown timer, so we'll add this. And then we'll say class BTN, extend class D none. Okay, let's go local to see if that updates. Okay, that doesn't seem to have worked. Why? Okay. One thing we could do is take this, delete that, and just try to get rid of the whole nav corner CTA first. It says it already compiled. I don't know how that's possible. Okay. Yeah, the compiler's not updating, so let's go back to how we tried it the first time. We can save that, then we're just going to close yarn run start process and rerun it. Okay, that didn't work. So let's try, just see if that's working in general. Nav corner CTA, that's an ID, and it should display none. It's extending that class. So we have ID nav corner CTA. Fix bottom. That's what it should be doing, but it ain't. Okay, let's make sure this is working again. 21, 12 milliseconds. Let's see if it updates when I save. Negative. Huh. Okay, let's kill this. It's because I'm in the trash with my old version of Bonsai, so let's go back to yarn run start. That's weird that it launches my current version of the site though. stalling out. Weird. I'll give it a minute. Sometimes my streaming puts a toll on the CPU. Alright, clearly something's wrong here, so I'm gonna close out of this. Let me just try rebooting Yarn and make sure I'm in the right directory now. Yeah, nope. Oh, why am I in Bonsai? I'm so silly. The Futur. There we go. That should do it. Oh, it's taking forever. Something's got to be wrong. Okay, let's make sure we're in the right directory this time. Future, let's run yarn. Yarn build. Yarn round start. Okay, I think something I did messed up the yarn. So one thing I can think of doing would be to come into, I forget which file. Let me look around for a second. Okay, something's booting up. Maybe my computer's just being really slow. Yeah, see it says Bonsai test. So something's wrong there. I think what it is one of these configuration files. Let me just stop this. And I can come into here. It's either my etc hosts. Yeah. And then I'm gonna delete all these for now because these can be regenerated pretty easy. So I think these are getting confused because I launched it with the wrong config. So I'll just right quit that. Then let's try this again. Yarn run start. It still says bonsai.test. Oh, it's because I haven't updated the config since I replaced the theme. So I'll come into the new theme that we've dropped in here. And under assets, we come into config.json. We're going to change this to, that one stays at bonsai, but this one goes to future.test. Okay, let's try this again. Alright, we have the right URL proxy in here. So this should work this time. Just give it a minute. Took 66 seconds to compile. think my computer's dying. This just doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna check that host file, make sure everything's okay. So it hasn't regenerated that. So I'm gonna re-vagrant up and then try that again. And you'll see the URL's updated here, so that looks good. I think it's ready to give it another try. Just make sure we're still in the right directory. Okay. And we'll say yarn run start. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Just had a quick bite to eat, get some energy. I've been streaming for an hour and 40 minutes now. And what have we done? Well, we have officially added the checkout page into the development build process. And that's not very testable locally, so we've also deployed things to our staging site, and here we should have a credit card form. And we tested it, it's successfully worked. I shouldn't really have an email because I haven't set up the SMTP configuration for the website yet. We're gonna do that before we go to production. That's when we'll start testing all the emails and stuff. So I guess it didn't really matter what email address I used until that SMTP configuration is set up. All right. So I'm kind of lost. I think I've done a lot of what I set out to do. I'm just gonna check my notes from the day. Starting to customize it with Futur's branding. Starting with the checkout page and process, which will also be turning into a bash script so that it can be implemented into Bonsai's core as an alternative checkout page. So we've implemented it as a bash script now. I think the next question is, this form isn't going to be enough information. I don't think. I mean, we could do it really simple, but usually I like to do it simple when it's in a modal window, because that just makes it a really quick checkout process. For example, right here, click on Get Pro Access, and it's usually there's a credit card field and card holder name fields, 2 more fields down here. So it's just really quick and easy. What we want to do is go to future.com. We'll go to the style guide kit. And I want to see Teachable's checkout process, what fields they all ask for. So there's a coupon code. We'll definitely be adding that down the road. I don't think that's necessary right now while we're testing things, really. Account information, that's not necessary. I'm thinking what I will do is essentially take the enrollment page, which actually isn't created yet, and we could turn that into the checkout page, but make it just have a credit card field as well. Unless we want to do a 2-step process. Get started, $63. I think I would like to keep it as close to the Teachables as possible, almost so that it seems like it's just an updated version of Teachable. And then at that point, we could start focus on getting rid of things such as street address that we won't need, for digital projects, products. So we're going to want to add in PayPal. We can do that later. That can be phase 2. Basically, we need to come up with a plan of phase 1, which is just like everything necessary to start testing it. And then we can start stress testing it, which will be one of the most important steps. So that'll be done after phase 1. And then in phase 2, I'll probably focus on adding things like coupon codes, PayPal, street addresses. But for now, let's say I wasn't logged in. So this is what it looks like when you're not logged in. It's almost exactly the same, except it just has the credit card field. So the only thing different than with mine is it has the name separate. No, it only has one name field. Okay. So it uses your name as the same name for the credit card field, which is kind of it's kind of weird, because sometimes the credit card holder isn't the name of the account of the person, but that's a small exception. So I don't know, I think we stick with the current one because it's basically this exact same thing minus the street address, which you don't need for digital products. And I think it's even less confusing because here it appears like it's asking for the account name, when I'm pretty sure they have to be using that name to run it with this card number. It's a cool little animation. I bet I could try and do something like that. So yeah, let's just go simple. What else is useful on this page that we want to bring over? There's some testimonials in the sidebar. There's some features and agreement. Some type of licensing agreement. Okay. Okay, so this is fully updated to the new version of Bonsai. Before I start customizing things, I want to make the updates to the core version of Bonsai, so bear with me while I do that for a minute. Because I think I changed a couple things, maybe. I think it was just this. Okay, that's pretty small. I don't think that really matters to update. Duplicate form on checkout page. And updated. Okay, so let me check out a couple things real quick. I'll go and do just the example for now. See if I updated the version of WordPress. Okay, Okay, 5.5.1, that's good. And then the other was the duplicate. Alright, we're gonna come into the theme real quick. Go into resources, views, layouts, checkout, and where this brings in all the modals, we'll come into modals, copy all of this, replace all the modals with select one. So we're gonna get rid of enroll, and also this rando, free course. Okay, so that should cover all the updates I just didn't want to forget about. So this is the most up-to-date version of the Bonsai theme and everything now on the Futur. Now that I have this implemented, let's start making some customization. So first things first, I'm going to come into Futur's website. I'm going to inspect this logo. Here we have a URL which points to an SVG. You could download it as an image, but I like to do things inline. So I think there's a hidden SVG in here somewhere. I'm just gonna right click and do save as. Now let's go into sites, Futur, web app themes, Bonsai resources, assets. No, yeah, we'll go into assets. We could create an SVG folder here, but I actually usually do things under views, which is just a little hack that I have for making inline SVGs really quick and easy. So I'll come into, I'm gonna make a custom directory called the Futur, and I'll save the Futur logo.svg. Now I'll open this up in Finder. I'm going to duplicate it, call it logo, and then out here you see logo PHP, so I can actually drop this out here now. We're going to delete logo PHP, which is my jackalope logo, and then we're going to want to navigate to this folder in the command line so we can optimize the SVG image real quick. Come into similar directory as where we're running yarn from. We'll come into Bonsai resources, views, SVG. We're going to run SVGO logo.svg. That will optimize it, minify it. So now we'll run, we'll just open up Finder again or whatever. I'm going to duplicate this and call it logo.php. Okay, so now if we refresh it, we should have the Futur's SVG logo. I don't know how about proportions. Okay, it's missing probably because of sizing or something like that. Something appears to be broken in the header. Like a div that doesn't, oh, it's just taking a long time to load. Huh. Okay. Now, I know there was a height in there, and that's probably what is missing, so let me navigate to that SVG file, logo.php. Right here I'm going to say height equals 32 pixels. See if that does anything. Alright, that did the trick. I think my live reload is stuck in a loop again. Seems like it. So, man, it's been such a pain. We'll stop this, yarn run start. We'll do yarn build. This has reset it sometimes in the past. Yarn run start again. Close out of these. Okay, it seems like it's good for now. This bug has just been eating at me lately. Seems like it might be on my machine because it goes from project to project now. Okay, so let's do, where were we? On the checkout page? Oh, we were working on the logo. So that seems a little too tall for me. Let's try, actually, it's way faster just to make tests in the browser right here. So, find this SVG height. We'll try out 28. Okay, why did that go back? Weird. keeps changing back. Oh, are we stuck in the loop again? God damn it. Okay, let's try resetting this one more time, and if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna have to spend some time debugging this before we continue working away, because it's a huge... yarn build production. Okay, let's try yarn run start again. That doesn't look compiled to me. Okay, you're gonna reload. Okay, good. Okay, now let's mess with the logo and see if this bug haunts us. Okay, you should be refreshing, all is well. It says it's compiled, I don't know about that. That was pretty fast. All right, it's working finally, still a little slow. Yeah, I messed up that, so we're gonna have to do some SVG optimization. I'll show you how to do that. All right. So, if we look in here, there's probably some styles. Oh, please don't reload. No, it's starting to do it again. Oh, it was working for a minute. This is ridiculous. Stop. This live reload is killing it. So, somewhere, oh, okay. Everything's good now. That's just a glitch in the SVGs. So that's good for now. I'm gonna get this live reload compiling bug sorted out over the next, just sometime this weekend. And it could be tonight, it could be tomorrow, it could be Monday. And once that's all sorted out, then I'll come back to starting to customize this theme. So today we got the checkout page working. We got the new version of Bonsai working with everything. So that includes the dark mode. And yeah, so next step, we're just going to start hacking away at customizing the theme sometime tomorrow or next week. So stay tuned, stay cool, my babies. See you around.